That's Rob Gronkowski, who's sitting right next to me, but he was down here ringing the bell for Flutter's listing day here in the U.S. market. How cool is this to be a part of?
This is really cool to be a part of, and that's why I love being part of the FanDuel team, because they have so many cool experiences for us, you know, doing the Kick of Destiny, being able to do the campaigns with the commercials, and then here they brought a marching band, cheerleaders. I mean, they were playing tunes. I was waving the flag back and forth. Flutter is now on the New York Stock Exchange, which is just extraordinary. But I love FanDuel. I love being a part of it. And let me tell you, it felt like a game day atmosphere out here today. People were screaming left and right, cheering. So just grateful, you know, to be a part of it.
Wolf of Wall Street vibes. People just hand you a football and say, spike it. How often does that happen to you?
It happens basically everywhere I go when I'm in the public. People want to see things spiked, especially when I'm on a microphone. Everyone wants to see a microphone get spiked. And I did it once. I broke the microphone, and then I've never done it since.
Now, you could reach the bell. One of the rare people here, you and Giannis apparently, who could reach the bell. But here you are outside doing the Gronk spike in front of all of our Flutter fans. That's 25,000 people strong as the parent company of FanDuel, of course, the #1 sports leader for sports betting in the U.S. You're partnered with them. Kick of Destiny is coming up. Good omen, our parlay hit.
Yes.
We won you guys some money. No sweat parlay. Pacheco, Lamar, Kelce, they all came through for us. When you're watching these games, and I know you flew, you haven't slept barely, what was your thought process watching some of this?
You know, watching the playoff games, I mean, I'm not a part of it anymore, so I'm kind of like a fan of the game now. So I just always want to see a good game that goes down to the wire. Seeing a blowout in the playoffs is not what it's all about for a fan. And just seeing the last two games, you know, that were actually yesterday, those were games that you want to see as a fan. You want to see the scoring back and forth, and then there was defense in both games as well. It was a tale of two halves with the San Francisco-Detroit game, and it's just wild to see comebacks like that. And you got to be able to beat a good team like the 49ers, the Detroit Lions. You have to play 60 minutes of complete football, because the 49ers, they're resilient. They got so many great players. They got so much talent on their team. It kind of reminds me of when, you know, I was part of the team with the Patriots when we came back versus the Atlanta Falcons 28-3. We had so much resilience that we were never just going to give up. And that was same with the San Francisco 49ers, and that's why they came back. Everything did go their way in the second half, but they got enough talent to be able to overcome a deficit like that.
It gave you the 28-3 vibes.
It really did, but just for the NFC Championship game, it definitely had the same type of vibes for sure. Not as quite, you know, to the extent, but just the same type of vibes a little bit.
What have you learned about Brock Purdy? Like, what is the takeaway? Because back-to-back weeks now, I'm saying, like, I don't think he can come back from this. And then he does.
Brock Purdy has gotten everyone to get off their seats and then have them sit right back down, you know, every single week, week in and week out. People jump on the bandwagon and love him for 4 weeks, and they jump right off the bandwagon. It's pretty impressive what he could do and how he could pull that off. But he had a great game yesterday when it counted, you know. In the second half, when it really mattered the most, he came through, especially with his legs, when he had some of those great runs out of the pockets to get the first down and keep the drives going. So that was pretty unbelievable to see him do that. I mean, he's calm, he's cool, he's collective, and just to see him, you know, in those situations, not, you know, beat up himself, you know, being down like that, and to be able to just come back and not be overthinking and just do what he needed to do, and that's what he did, and that's why they made that comeback.
Controversial decisions by Dan Campbell. You said in the broadcast last night that you were there, that you had no problem with that because it's who he is. He stayed true. I'm thinking about them going forward. The Lions have so much talent. We want them to win a Super Bowl. What's the lesson in this for him? I
do want the Lions to win a Super Bowl eventually. I was cheering for them. You know, I never knew that they never made a Super Bowl, which is pretty wild to me. And just to see that fan base going crazy at Ford Field, I can tell you this: Ford Field was going crazier in Detroit than they were in San Francisco at Levi Stadium. But the Detroit Lions, I mean, Dan Campbell's call, he's a gutsy guy. He's aggressive, and it kind of backfired yesterday because they should have went for that field goal on 4th down, but that's his style, to go for that 4th down. And if they kicked that field goal, it would have been a tie game then. But instead, they were kind of, you know, trying to play catch-up on the onside kick, and the probability of getting an onside kick is so low now that you really don't want to go that way. But they have a young team. They got a great coach. They got guys that want to play for them. They're going to be a great team, and they're going to be contending for a Super Bowl and a championship year in and year out for, I would say, the next couple of years for sure. San
Francisco gets the win. Sam Laporta, bright future. We love him. But Kittle on the other side, we'd like to see him maybe get a piece of hardware, right? We have this incredible clip that I want you to take a look at, even though you can't hear, of the Niners when they, of course, lost to the Chiefs back at Super Bowl 54. Take a look.
I will be back here. I will be back here, and I will be back with vengeance. You will not get the best of me, no sir.
You had a first crack at it back in 2011. Were you saying the same thing?
I was actually saying the same thing for sure when I lost the Super Bowl in 2011. When you lose a Super Bowl, you get even more hungry, especially if you don't have a Super Bowl underneath your belt. And that's what George Kittle was saying. And actually now is going to be a rematch of that Super Bowl that he lost. So if he wants redemption, this is the time for redemption. And George Kittle, he's such an unselfish player. I mean, he only had, 2 catches yesterday for 27 yards. And those catches are always at some of the biggest moments. But he doesn't get as many targets as he should because there's so many weapons on the 49ers offense. But he never complains. And if you see him play the game of football, he just doesn't contribute in the pass game. Did you see him pancake Aiden Hutchinson yesterday?
I mean, the tight ends had quite a day. Kelce was throwing blocks like crazy,
yes,
too.
Kelce was throwing blocks,
and
that's how you win a championship. I really believe you need a legit tight end now on your offense to get to the championship level of play. Tight ends are finally revolutionizing the game. It has started, I would say a couple years back, but it has continued now with many of these, great players like George Kittle and Travis Kelce, and then also, even the teams that lost with Sam Laporta and also Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. So just to see that, it's great for the position. And if you want to win a championship on the offensive side of the ball, you need a solid tight end.
But now, the Ravens had 2 tight ends, as we saw, could not get it done. What happened? What happened with Lamar in this game?
I don't know. I mean, you got to give credit to the Kansas City defense. There's no doubt about that. They came up and they showed, and they got some of the best defensive backs in the game, and they were covering the wide receivers on the Baltimore Ravens pretty well. I mean, after that miracle play by Lamar with the touchdown where he broke out of the pocket, ducked underneath the tackle, and just launched it up to Zay Flowers, that was impressive. But I would say what happened to the Ravens that kind of shifted the momentum was when Zay Flowers accidentally fumbled the ball going into the end zone, and that was the turnover. I would say that was kind of like the hammer into the grave for the Baltimore Ravens.
Do you think Lamar seemed himself, or did it feel like to you watching the moment was effective? The moment had an effect on him?
He seemed himself at the beginning of the game, but then once again, it kind of felt like it affected him. He didn't really get into the groove anymore, and that definitely played a part. And the team depends on Lamar Jackson. If he's not up to par, if he's not playing full speed, the Baltimore Ravens can't win.
I feel like they didn't run enough. There weren't enough designed runs either for him. They didn't stick to the run, and I hated to see that.
They got to stick to the run because that's their main focus of the game. And then they can control the ball. They can get their defense off the field. It was tough to see the Baltimore Ravens defense. I think they were on the field for 9 minutes at a time on some of the drives. So you got to give credit to the Chiefs as well. They had a great game plan, and they came in to the Ravens' house and beat them, which is pretty incredible. But, the Ravens, they just didn't have their best day of football.
So now I'm thinking about the Chiefs side of things and Travis Kelce, and I'm watching all of the extracurriculars after the game with him and his brother and all of that. But there's rumors that this is his last run, right? There's rumors that he's going to hang it up with Jason and they're going to go out together. Do you get that vibe when you're watching this?
I mean, there is definitely a lot of rumors about it. And when there's rumors about it, I would say there's definitely some smoke, and there's some truth to it. I wouldn't say it's fully, true, like what everything's being talked about, but they are at that age where retirement is totally possible. They can retire any given season. I can see it more likely for Jason to retire. I mean, playing center, getting banged up every single play.
He said he's done.
Oh, he said he's done. He actually retired.
I believe so.
No, I don't think he did it officially, but it's pretty much out there.
I thought Jason said he's done.
If Travis goes out and he gets a championship, I can see him retiring. I mean, they're doing great things off the field. They got that podcast together. I mean, it's the #1 podcast in the sports world now. They're doing all the commercials. They got the whole family involved. So it's great to see. And they got a lot of, opportunities after the game of football as well. So it's all up to them.
Did you know Tampa, if you won the Super Bowl, that Tampa would be your last one? Or were you just, because it was kind of tied to Tom, right? Was it something that you knew going into that Super Bowl?
Would be my last season? Well, I actually played one more season
after
after
your
that.
last, this might be my last Super Bowl. Was that in your head?
No, because I wanted to win one more Super Bowl after. And we had a good shot at it, but we lost to actually the Super Bowl defending champions, the Rams, that year. And that was a good game, but Stafford threw that bomb, and then they kicked the field goal the last second to win the game. But I wanted another Super Bowl even after we won the one.
I just wonder if Travis is going to approach this game any differently. Like, he really is. Something's happened to him in the past 4 weeks. He's just back to being a 25-year-old tight end out there doing this thing.
Yes, he is. He absolutely turned it up a notch, making unbelievable catches. And Patrick Mahomes put it in the spots where only Travis Kelce can make the catches, and that's what he's doing. And that's why they are going to the Super Bowl as well. And I would say, I was talking yesterday, I mean, we were joking around, but I think it was kind of some seriousness to it as well, is that the Kansas City Chiefs, they're always playing in championship games. So when you have regular season games throughout the whole year, you can get bored. Maybe the excitement wasn't there, so they weren't playing up the par. You know what I'm talking about?
That's a good
So now
take.
It's win or lose, and then
They're
you
so
go home.
talented.
So now they have to dial it in, put the launch codes in, and then they came out on fire in the playoffs.
Ait, I actually
Yes.
really like this take. How do these two teams match up?
These teams match up very well, and it's going to be a heck of a Super Bowl because it's a rematch as well
54, yeah.
of 54, and that was a great Super Bowl as well. In San Francisco, they need this Super Bowl more than definitely the Kansas City Chiefs because they keep going to championship games, but they can't
The Chiefs
win
want
it
to take
all.
out the Patriots. It's
Yes,
the dynasty.
exactly.
They have a huge thing on their shoulders, too.
That is exactly true, too, and the Chiefs want to prove that they have a dynasty, and they have to win this game to prove that they have a dynasty
Who do you
as
think
well.
has the edge going into the Super Bowl right now? We've got
Oh,
2
my
weeks to go
gosh.
back and forth.
I mean, I've been wrong the last 2 weeks on the playoff
If
games.
you had to pick right now,
Oh
who
my
do you
gosh.
like?
I'm gonna go with Kansas City Chiefs because they're scrappier. They've been finding ways to win.
Scrappier.
Yes.
And their defense is so good.
Yes,
I feel
they
like
are.
the San Francisco defense, I'm not as into. Okay, let's see. Don't do what Brady did, Travis. There's more to life than football. Gronk and Tom commentating games.
Yes. Tom will be joining the booth next year.
Is this true?
We are
Is he
excited.
actually
This
joining
is
the
true.
booth?
I think he's going to do a wonderful job. There's no doubt about that. And it's kind of cool because we're getting the band back together because Julian, on the pregame show as well with Fox. I'm on the pregame show. And then hopefully Tom joins us on the pregame show once in a while for Fox. And getting the whole band back together will be a classic.
The producers created a segment for you as we are at the New York
All
Stock
right.
Exchange celebrating Flutter being listed today on the U.S. market. But we're going to talk a little buy or sell, okay? So let's do this. Let's talk about what we saw on the field this weekend. He likely won the MVP and led his team to the 1 seed. But buy or sell, Lamar Jackson's season is a disappointment.
I'm going to buy that. I think they needed to get to the
honest.
Super Bowl. There's no doubt about that. Well, being the number 1 seed and being a very consistent team this year, that's why I had them winning yesterday because they were so consistent and they were absolutely rocking the socks off of good teams
Their
this year as
defense
well.
was so good yesterday.
Yes.
I cannot believe Mahomes couldn't do anything for like 3 quarters. I can't believe they lost this game. Okay, led by Steve Spagnuolo, a guy those 2007 undefeated Patriots remember very well. The Kansas City defense shut down Lamar yesterday. The KC defense is the best unit left in the playoffs by herself. Not in the playoffs. The Super Bowl
left,
matchup.
yeah, left.
You know
There's
what
only
I'm saying.
2 teams standing. I'm going to buy that. They've been playing lights out. They have shown. I mean, San Francisco, they let up a lot of big chunk plays yesterday on their defense. So
And to love
Kansas
the week before.
Chiefs have the best defense left.
We saw Travis and Taylor on the field. Pretty tame, say my producers. Buy or sell that PDA, like smooching your boyfriend or girlfriend after the Super Bowl, is cool.
It's cool?
Yeah.
I would say it's cool. I mean, you see that with everyone.
Yeah.
I didn't see it after the game because I was doing the pregame show, but just being around a lot of championships, you always see a player and his girlfriend or his wife. They always give a little smooch after a big win.
A little smooch. It played a crucial role in yesterday's Baltimore KC game when Zay Flowers got flagged. Taunting should be legal, buy or sell.
Depends how much taunting there is going on.
His taunting, should that have been flagged?
I didn't see
He was
it.
over the player a little bit.
I didn't see this
No?
taunting.
Okay.
I didn't see that play.
They got like
exactly.
19.
I missed it.
I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna say it should be legal, and they were so undisciplined yesterday. It was disappointing. We've got 1 NFL game left. Then we really have to find new things to watch. Buy or sell The Traitors as the best reality show on TV. You know what that is?
I have not seen The Traitors, and I never even heard of it before, but I'm going to buy it because we're talking about it, so it's going to be the best show on TV now.
You're the best. Wolf of Wall Street yourself down there through the New York
Yes.
Stock Exchange.
Boom.
Again,
Oh,
we're
boom.
here celebrating.
Oh, boom.
We're here celebrating FanDuel and Flutter doing all things U.S. market. If you want to get involved, invest, there's so much fun in the future. And you give us a little update on Kick of Destiny. Where are you?
Yeah, so I've been practicing.
You're doing a lot of commercials with confetti with Marshawn Lynch. Like
I know, Beast Mode. Beast Mode gave me some tips as well, but I'm focused. I've been practicing a lot. He said, you better make that kick, Gronk, because I'm betting.